On today's episode of More Than Strength, we're talking with Mitch Beaver, one of the owners of CrossFit Cicero. Mitch is going to share with us how he used CrossFit to turn his life around. It's about more than what you lift or how you look. It's about more than strength.
Today we're joined by Mitch. Hey Mitch, well, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And we're also joined by Dr. Jeff Batiste. He's a doctor because he's a chiropractor.
Emphasize that for me, please.
Dr. Jeff Batiste. And so like I said before, we're going to talk with Mitch. We're just going to have him share his story and get learned through what Mitch has to tell us. So let's dive right into it. Take me back to teenage Mitch. What type of person were you?
Man, okay, so we'll say 16, 17 years old. I was up to no good. I was fighting all the time. I was arrested 4 times in probably 8 to 10 months. Most of the time for fighting, one time for petty larceny. I stole the wallet from Marshall's.
How much money was in it?
There was nothing. It was
so it wasn't even worth
a $10 wallet. Yeah, literally a $10 wallet. Actually, it was Burlington right over there.
Do they still remember you? Could we walk in and say hi?
It's closed now, thank God.
Still got his picture hanging up.
you put him out of business, man.
The funny part is the night before I had won like $300 at the casino, so I had money. I just wanted to steal something. I don't know why. I was a punk, hanging out with the wrong kids, just doing stupid things. Got into trouble all the time. Like I said, arrested literally 4 times within 10 months probably.
Why do you think it was?
Around that same time, I learned that my brother was gay, and I had a really, really, really hard time dealing with it because he was my older brother, and it was somebody that I always looked up to, and I just I didn't understand why. I think that was one of the bigger things. But I fast forward maybe to 19, 20 years old.
I thought you were about to say 1920.
No.
I was like, wait.
How old are you? Benjamin Button.
I'm 138 years old.
Let's go back to the year 1920.
They speakeasies, man. You get the best beer in those speakeasies.
So, 19, 20 years old, I obviously was out of high school, living with one of my best friends, AJ, and this probably was one of the most eye-opening moments of my life. It was December 28th, a few days after Christmas. We were living in an apartment together, both on probation, because we were both knuckleheads. Fighting, he was selling a lot of drugs, I was selling drugs, we were just idiots. We thought it was the cool thing to do. It was a fast way to make money. We thought we were awesome, basically. December 28th, I woke up about 5 o'clock in the morning to what I found out was cops knocking on our door. They said, can we come in? Yep, let them in. They said, when's the last time you seen Andrew DeCuffa? I said, well, last night. I came home at like 11 o'clock. I remember I got a Sprint phone, one of those ones that had the pagers on it.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude, little pager beeper thing.
It was like a little.
It was like the direct. It was like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
right? Yes.
Right.
Things were awesome.
Yeah. All my friends' dads used to have that. I remember playing soccer on Saturday mornings, and they'd be like, "Honey, do I have to pick up some milk or whatever?"
Yeah, they were awesome when they first came out. So I went in his bedroom. I said, "Dude, check it out! I got one of we call it the bleep bleep phones." That was the last time I saw him, and they said, "Okay, we'll be right back." And I said, well, "What's going on? Something's wrong." Well, we came to find out.
Sorry about that. We had a technical difficulty. Man, we've been having a lot of those recently. Well, this is smoother than last time for sure. Okay, so cops knock on your door. Last time you heard from your friend.
Yep. So cops knock on the door like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Last time you saw him was last night at 11 o'clock. I was showing him my phone. They said we'll be right back. I knew something was wrong. They wouldn't tell me. About an hour later, detectives came in and they brought in pictures. They said, "Is this Andrew?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What's going on?" During the middle of the night, he went out into his car and he shot himself. And it was one of the strangest, I guess, moments, obviously, of my life, because I didn't. It was weird. I didn't cry, and I was just like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I have to go to work." They were like, "What?" And I was like, I have to go to work. I said, "Let me call my mom first. I have to tell my mom." So I called my mom, told her to come over, and I said, "Mom, you have to stay here with the cops because they have to figure out what happened to AJ, but I have to go to work." And she was like, What are you talking about?" And then all of a sudden it just like it hit me, and I just lost it. He ended up, he had a lot of stuff going on in his head. We went into his bedroom and found a page from the Bible. It said, "Would you go to heaven or hell if you committed suicide?" And yeah, we like I said, we're both knuckleheads, so we had a sawed-off pistol grip shotgun in our house, and what we thought was for protection. We thought we were kingpin drug dealers. So yeah, he went out into the car in our apartment and shot himself. The neighbor found him just slumped over in his car. And from that day on, I said, I have to do something with him, because that's going to be me. I said, I'm either going to end up dead or I'm going to end up in jail. One of those two things. So I said, I have to do something. So I enrolled in college and went to OCC for 2 years. And even still at that point, I think I was still kind of a shithead. Like, I went there because I wanted to play basketball. And, I knew I had to do something different with my life, but even still, there was a part of me that almost wanted to live that fast life. Like, it's hard to get out of it. You get used to it, and like I said, the money's good. You think you're awesome. You think you have all these friends because you're powerful, but in reality, it's more people fear you than they actually care about you. Went to school, stopped without graduating, so I played basketball for 2 years, and I ended up leaving OCC without a degree. Started working at Lowe's, and I was selling carpet. Actually started there as a janitor. Worked as a janitor for about a year, started selling carpet. Then my mom called me and said that her company was hiring. It's an insurance company, Travelers. And so I applied for that, and with no college degree. So I had a high school diploma and experience in sales. So I went there, and they did the interviews and made it through. Man, there was a ton of people who interviewed for it. Anyways, I was one of maybe 15 people who were selected for the job, and later found out they said, the reason why we hired you is because we really believe that you can train anybody for a job, but you can't train a personality, right? So I went in there and I just, I did my thing. Worked there for about a year and a half, and realized that I hated it. I dressed up in a suit and tie every day, and was selling insurance, and I just hated it. The money was great, but I hated what I did. And I lived with a kid by the name of Dustin Wetter. Matt, I know you remember him, Dustin. He was the first person to ever introduce me to CrossFit. He was a personal trainer at Aspen, and he said, "Hey, you got to try CrossFit." And I was like, "Dude, you're corny. CrossFit's stupid." Like, I was like, who the hell wants to do that? That just doesn't sound fun at all. Yeah. So the very first workout I ever did was Fran. And we had the little 25-pound round metal plates. You couldn't drop the bar, obviously, you're in Aspen. And we had to do pull-ups on, like, those bars that are like, there wasn't even a straight bar. It was like two handles.
Yeah, and they're angled.
Yes.
Yeah. I get a sweet lap pump when I use those.
So I did too. And I was like, this is going to be so easy. I was like, this is dumb. Like, it's 95 pounds, and I can do pull-ups forever. And I didn't know how to do a kipping or a butterfly pull-up, so I did everything strict. And in the round of 15, I couldn't do a pull-up, and I couldn't do a thruster. So he's like, well, you got to do jumping pull-ups. So he made me do jumping pull-ups.
And your pride just went down the drain in the shower with the old naked dudes.
Yes. So we took the weights off, so I had to use an empty barbell, and I had to do jumping pull-ups. And that was my first experience with CrossFit. And then I was just like floored. I remember that feeling in my lungs. It was just, ugh. It was like swallowing blood.
Did you walk out there like cherry popped?
Yeah, I walked out of there like, what is wrong? Like, why am I so unfit? Like, I thought I was really fit. Next day we came in, and he's like, we're going to do Grace. And I'm like, what the hell's Grace? And it was...
Fran was a bitch, so what the hell's Grace?
Yeah. So 30 clean and jerks at 135 pounds. And same thing, we had the metal plates, and I was just ripping the bar off the floor, looking like a scared cat. Just, reverse curling, pressing the bar overhead. And it probably took me 12 or 13 minutes. And I was cooked again and humbled again. And probably about a week or two later, CrossFit 3 and 5 opened. And Dustin was their head coach. So I said, I want to do this now, because I was like, I guess I was more intrigued, like, how can something that seems so easy be so hard? And for somebody who, I was a college athlete, I thought I was fit, and I really did. I was like, this shouldn't be that hard. So still working at Travelers, I ended up I was like, I can't pay for the membership. I want to be a member here. So you can work at the front desk. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll work at the front desk. What started happening was I found myself, I was calling into work to go to the gym. And I was like, man, something's not right. And like I said, I hated that. I hated my job. So basically, I burned through all my vacation time to call into work. And then I realized...
to go to the gym?
Yeah, to go to the gym.
As assignment.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then I said, can I coach for you guys? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I was like, all right. I quit my job. It probably took about a $20 an hour pay cut to be a coach for $10 a class. And I'll never forget when I told my mom. She was not happy.
Really?
I had benefits, everything. You had paid time off. Well, I used all my paid time off.
Did you accumulate a bunch of sweet ties, too? I bet you did.
Yeah. Suits, ties, everything, all the good stuff.
Like, what are the Garfield ties? My first grade teacher, I feel like I'd see wearing one of those.
Man, it was yeah. So, quit that job and started coaching at CrossFit 3 and 5. We were there I was coaching there for about a year and a half. And then one of the members at the time, Jim Freed, approached me and said, let's do this. Let's do this on their own. Actually, sorry, I missed the point. I asked for a pay raise. And, I probably thought I was awesome. I was probably asking for more money than I deserved. But I thought that the going rate was $20 a class. So I was like, hey, can I have more money? And I'll never forget one of the owners, so I won't mention his name, said, can't do it, business is business. I said, okay, fair enough. Jim said, hey, let's do this on our own. And I said, I don't have any money to do this on our own. And he said, I'll put up all the money. And so basically he invested in me. Without him and without him willing to take that chance, which, was probably a bad chance for him to take. But
most people probably say that was just a bad idea.
Yeah. He emptied out his savings, and we opened CrossFit Exalt. We opened October 1st of 2013, so just over 3 years ago. And we did so many things wrong our first year. But, he always said, I'm not investing in a gym, I'm investing in you, and it's pretty awesome when somebody who, we didn't know each other that great. Jim just knew I was a coach. I was a young kid who loved CrossFit. And when I was literally obsessed with it in every way, shape, form possible. Like, that's all I did, typical, you talk about it all day, every day. So he took a chance. We opened CrossFit Exalt and probably did about as many things wrong as you can in your first year possible. One of the biggest things is so CrossFit HQ charges you an affiliate fee. It's $3,000 a year, and we're like, yeah, this is great. We're doing awesome. We love it. Everybody's having a good time. October 1st, 2014 rolls around. I get an email from CrossFit HQ. Your affiliate fee's due. I said, fuck, I don't have $3,000. how are we going to pay the affiliate fee? So we took out a credit card and had to pay it on the credit card. That was a big mistake, and we didn't make that mistake again. But even still, like even those little bonehead mistakes, Jim never really gave up. He never lost faith in my love, I guess, and passion to help people for the sport of CrossFit.
Yeah, he must have seen that passion in you early on, and like that translates over. So he's like, if this kid can handle it, why not take a shot? Right?
Yeah, I feel like you hear a lot of people who start businesses or start doing anything new, like coaching. Like, how many mistakes did you make the first year?
All the
but it's
time.
like necessary to go through those mistakes. Like it's, of course, I do believe in learning from people who made them before you, so you don't make the same mistakes if you've already learned them. But going through that process yourself, like if you didn't do that, I'll make a big bet here and say you probably wouldn't be where you're at right now without going through that first year.
Yep. Everything happens for a reason, and I think the biggest thing for us was that we tried to learn from that. And try not to make the same mistakes twice. 'Cause if you make the mistake once and you don't do it again, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
Twice just makes you stupid.
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
case.
right.
So
So we operated at CrossFit Exalt for 3 years, and then just recently, literally 2 weeks ago, we made the move to merge with CrossFit Transformation, and we created CrossFit Cicero. So we had Sarah and I were great friends, and we knew the owner, Jim, the other Jim, and we probably actually talked about it for probably about a year before it actually happened. A lot of things to get together, but arguably one of the best decisions we've ever made. The facility is unreal. You guys see it every day, so it's crazy, and it's literally been like a dream come true. I texted my mom and I said, finally, it feels like 3 years of working for near nothing just to pay your bills, and it's finally paid off. So
yeah, I mean, we see it here walking in here and just see you walk around with like this smile, like you just got laid out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Maybe I did.
But it's every day. Every day. Chrissy walks in 10 minutes later.
You guys don't know what happens.
Looking
in
bored.
That office. See that office behind you? Magic.
So
we just use Jeff's table, right?
As Chrissy walks in afterward, just looking super bored. So, like, just hearing your story and you sharing, all that your past with us, people's life stories really, they illustrate the values that you hold near and dear to you, or that you live your life by. And it just kind of seems like, I don't know if it was before all that happened with your friend and what you were behaving like, but it seems like after that you almost like you had this epiphany, like I have to do something. It was almost like you developed this or you found this inner courage, and like that you hold that value near and dear, because you to leave a job like that. Like, how many people do that? To leave a good paying, insurance job, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So what was your mentality? Like, what were you thinking when you were just like, what, I'm leaving? Like, I mean, your mom's telling you you're dumb. I'm sure pretty much everyone in the whole world besides Jim and you were like, that's just dumb.
Yep.
What was your mentality like?
Well, so as far as with my mom, after the initial shock, she was obviously upset. But after that, she's always said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And I've always said, it's actually Matt not too long ago said, what's your biggest fear in life? And because he thought I was going to say clowns, because I'm freaking terrified of clowns. and he said, we were out to eat maybe for I think Chrissy's birthday, and he said, hey, watch this. He thought I was going to say clowns. What's your biggest fear? And I said letting my mom down. And I've always been she did so much for me as a kid. My dad left on my 5th birthday, took all the money out of my birthday cards and left. That was the last time I ever saw my father, my real father. So my mom, she did everything on her own. She raised us on her own. She worked full-time. She went to school full-time, so we didn't have to live like that. But so fast forwarding. So yeah, after the initial shock, she always said, like I said, she said, if you're happy with what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. So I just kind of tried to make that a priority number one. Come in every day with an open mind, and just never give up. You know, like you say, have strength. I tried to always focus on the good. I always see, in order to be an owner of a CrossFit gym, you have to be in it for the right reason, I think, or a CrossFit coach for that matter. You have to be in it for the right reason. You can't be in it to become a millionaire, because none of us will. You have to be in it because you have a passion to help other people. One of the coolest things that we see on a day-to-day basis is people doing things that they never thought they could do. For something as simple like, we take it for granted, but a pull-up. We have people who came in extremely overweight, obviously really out of shape, and now are doing pull-ups, handstand push-ups, all sorts of things. And to me, like, I get joy out of seeing that. I get joy out of seeing the happiness on other people's faces when they have that moment, like, oh my God, I never thought I could do that.
Yeah, I've been trying to put before I try to say this phrase, what I'm trying to say is I've been trying to put my finger on what it is that, like, makes me feel so good, but I actually said tongue. I've been trying to put my tongue on, trying to lick this, like, idea, what's happening to people when they start doing stuff they can't do. But on a serious note,
Jeff, that's Apollo's butt. Don't put your tongue there.
There's nothing to say.
Yeah, you can't.
I'll just get you some ice. But so what I think it is I actually think, because, like, what you're witnessing, and when people do those kind of things, is people's self-worth inside just exponentially increasing, even if it's just for that brief moment in time. And then it's like what we talk about time. I mean, talk with you all the time about this, about how people come in here and, like, like you just said, they start off kind of shitty, and then a couple months later they're like, oh my God, like, I just deadlifted 400, whatever it was, and they go outside, and, like, you just see when people walk in, I could tell the members who have been here for a while, they walk in and they have this look on their face, like this confidence about them, and this happiness as they walk in, and it seeps through to everybody else in the gym as well.
We have, I mean, like, for example, she's here right now, she's behind us. Kristen, when she first started, she was extremely unhealthy. She was a smoker. She was extremely overweight. And I don't know the exact amount of weight that she's lost, but I'm pretty sure she started CrossFit somewhere around 230 pounds, and she's not very tall.
Yeah.
You know, she's maybe 5'3".
Yeah.
And now I'm not sure exactly how much she's down to, but now she's a beast.
Yeah, like, I'm just looking at it right now. It's a significant amount of weight. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. I would say 60, 70 pounds.
At least, yep.
Climbing a rope right now.
Yeah, she's actually climbing a rope.
Higher than I would climb.
Oh, don't get your hand caught in the light. All right.
Yeah. So, and she can do pull-ups, she can do toe-to bars, she can do hands. She can probably do darn near every movement we do.
Yeah.
And just to see where she started, it's absolutely wild. When you put, like, the side-by-side pictures together, it's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
So, like, people like her make my job awesome. You know, like, just seeing her every day, knowing where she came from and to where she is now. It's just, it makes everything worth it. It makes those 3 years for working, like, being like, shit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my bills. It makes all of that worth it. Seeing people like her and other people, I mean, we have tons of people, but just, she's here, so I used her as an example, but it makes everything worth it.
And I would say the community you built, especially in your gym, because, I mean, we've been to a bunch of gyms.
A lot of CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, a lot of gyms. And when I go and work out, I was always the guy that walked in, didn't say a word to anyone, headset on, hood over my head, just walk in, lift, and go out.
And especially CrossFit gyms, not to interrupt you, but...
because especially going into his gym, I noticed I go out of my way to, like, not even pack any of that stuff. I just go in with my T-shirt, and I'm ready to talk to everyone, because everyone is so welcoming.
Well, I was nervous coming in, because, like, when I met you, we talked over the phone. First, I was living in Nashville, and then, you know, I was nervous I've never coached at a CrossFit gym, and I'd say recreationally a power lifter, but strength. I love training to get strong. I just love being able to pick up really heavy things. And like for a semi kind of chubby powerlifter coming into CrossFit gym, like I wasn't sure how I was going to be received, but it's funny, and I love it just because everyone, like the community you've created, that's what it taught me about CrossFit. It's like just being a powerlifter, that's straight up. I was really skeptical about CrossFit. I always have been about certain things, but now that I'm in it, I see like, oh, okay, it like, yeah, there might be things that maybe I'm like, I don't know if I do that with my clients, whatever, but it's not about that. It's just about these people are getting better every single time they come in, and like the community atmosphere that you've created in here is like, you feel like a family member when you walk in.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's as far as the community, it's funny because everybody gives me all the credit, and I don't really deserve a lot of credit. I mean, I think it's yes, I think people just associate me with the gym, so that's where that comes in. But it goes way deeper than me. It's all of them. They come in and they make the friendships. All of our other coaches, the other owners, everybody plays a part in that community. A good example of our community, like you guys are saying, a couple years ago, I did an online competition, the Granite Games, and was lucky enough to qualify, and it's expensive. And I didn't have enough money to go out there. Didn't have any sponsors at the time, and so our gym did a fundraiser, and we raised like $1,500 to send me to the Granite Games. I'm like, all these people who, they could do other things with their money. They didn't have to do that, but that's one example. They did make me do Fran, Diane, Grace, and like some other women workout back to back in a fucking tutu. I had to. There's still pictures of it. Yeah,
I still wear it to bed.
So they got their laugh, but yeah, I mean, like if you see like our social outings, we do a lot of things together. We have an annual golf tournament. We go camping every year together, and I think that creates just a crazy bond that you literally, I tell people, I say, I hope you're ready for 150 new best friends.
Yeah.
When you walk in the door, because everybody carries that same idea, I guess. And I don't know that, I don't think that I'm directly responsible for it. I mean, obviously I play a part in it. But it's everybody, it's all of them, it's all 150 of them, our coaches, everybody who comes in who wants to be a part of that. So they, I think, should get the credit for basically creating that.
But it's contagious.
Yeah.
Because I'm that very laid back kind of guy, and to get me to come out of my shell, come into a place where I don't have to put my headphones on and just lift and get out. That's to me, that's a testament.
I think we've always said we don't do everything perfect. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it. I said, but when you come in here, you the one rule is you have to have fun.
Yeah.
And we've always had that. Like we turn the music up. We probably play music. We play rap music and
curses.
Yeah, we get.
I've heard some swear words when I've been in here.
Sometimes I'm like, crap, my mom's in here. And then she finally admitted to me. She goes, I kind of like that music. I'm like, oh my god, Jesus. So she admitted she likes it. And some of the people who you wouldn't think like it, they love it. And it's just like, I don't know, the beat and the energy in the room is just, it's crazy. So it works, So.
Yeah, it's funny. I know you're talking about, like, I'm not going to name any names, but I have, like, several, I love 50-plus-year-old women. I love coaching.
He admitted it.
Sorry, Taylor. You didn't hear that?
I love coaching. I don't know what it is.
Didn't you just propose?
Huh?
Don't tell her.
She'll get there.
She'll be 50 one day. That's what I'm waiting for her to be 50. But so
21's the new 50.
She's definitely pissed.
All right, I feel like I don't have a fiance anymore after this. Anyway,
you still have the community.
Still have 150 best friends and 50-year-old women. Anyway, it's funny you say that because like there's some of the people who come in, they're just bopping their heads, they're getting ready to squat or whatever they're about to do. They're like, oh, this is awesome. At first, I was like, are these women gonna like this? Are they gonna be like be cool with 50? In the club. Like as you walk into the gym, but they love it, and the energy, like you said, it's contagious. I feel like if people were just assholes in here, that music would actually turn people off. But because everyone's like super happy and
soon their outfit changes, they're wearing sideways hats, bumping it.
It's just one club at that.
One pant leg raised. Wait,
got the headband up.
Was it your old gym actually a club?
Yeah, it was a bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So there we go. So you have to keep some of that alive. The remnants. Remnants of the bar lot. All right, I think that's a good place to wrap up for today. I think just kind of wrapping up and summarizing what we talked about today, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of what I got out of your story through all that. I mean, there's a bunch of lessons, especially if I go back and listen to it over again. But, if you, and we talk about this a lot with, it's just a recurring theme with people we talk to who are successful, and I say successful, maybe not millionaires, whatever, but people who have achieved things in their life that they were going after and wanted to achieve, is that we only get like 80 years-ish, and it just seems like you had that epiphany. Maybe it wasn't the forefront of your mind, like, oh, I only have 80 years, I'm going to do this, but you just kind of started to take action and seize life, the life that you wanted for yourself. And I think that's just a huge lesson that anyone could take away from this.
Yeah, I think, like the moral of I think everything that I said is if you want to do something, you take the chance, go after it, don't give up. You can do it. And I owe so much to CrossFit. It's the good, the bad, the ugly with it, whatever your opinions on it. It has literally, in every way, shape, and form, saved my life. There's no doubt in my mind I would have either ended up dead or in jail. I can almost guarantee it. And it changed me as a person. It made me appreciate humans more. It made me happy. It took me out of that life and that path that I was going, and I'll forever, be thankful to a couple people, my mom, Jim especially, the original owners at CrossFit 3 and 5, Manny and Mark, that gave me a chance and hired me, again, coming in with no experience. They didn't have to. They did. They took a chance on a kid who was passionate about CrossFit. Yeah. So, there's so much things that we could say. We could talk for 5 hours.
We definitely
could. It's just CrossFit is literally, in every way possible, changed my life and made me who I am today.
Yeah,
so.
And just for you listening, like, there are people who could say those things, and then there's people like Mitch who live them, and like
every day.
He really does. He exudes, like what he just said. If you could sit here and just like look at his handsome face and just and absorb the meaning behind what he's saying.
And he wonders why I get laid every day before I come in.
I don't have a comeback.
Just drink
that soothing jazz voice.
I was just kidding. No, you don't. But it really is an honor to have you on the show, and I just personally, like, we've built a relationship over the last 6 months or so, and he means it when he says, like, whatever you think you can do, go after it. Because, like, this podcast, for example, this is something I was nervous. Me and Jeff were both nervous about starting, but you've been nothing but supportive about it the entire 100%. Time. And
you have to take a chance, because if you don't take a chance, you're going to sit there when you're 67 years old and be like, shit, I wonder what would have happened if I did this.
That's my biggest fear.
I never want to do that. I'll always be willing to take a chance, because I never want to wonder what if.
Yep.
It's the worst thing to
I'd rather try and fail than look back and say, well, like, maybe what if I did that? That's my biggest fear. What if? That's my biggest fear.
What if is the worst thing you
That's the worst thing ever. Yeah. But anything add before we wrap it up, Jeff?
No, I think we're good. I think you nailed it.
All right. Thanks for listening to More Than Strength. Mitch, where can people follow you? So give you a shameless plug.
On Facebook, Mitch Beaver. On Instagram, Mitch Beaver CF. And follow the gym at CrossFit _ Cicero. So CrossFit _ Cicero.
All right. Please give us a good rating on iTunes if you like this episode. I say it every time. If you have a bad rating and you want to be a jick, I was about to say dick.
A jick.
If you want to be a jerk / dick.
You want to be a jerk ick.
If you want to be a jick, then just email us or something. Don't write anything. Yeah, right? A jick. We should use that. Stop being a jick.
Matt, you're a jick.
All right. And we're out.